Good morning and welcome to our review of absolute value and absolute value equations and inequalities. We're going to start off with equations. So we have the absolute value of x equals 0.5. If we think of this as our shower, what number could go into our shower that would come out either 0.5 or that would come out 0.5? Well, there could be two solutions. One, we could have 0.5 in our shower, or we could have negative 0.5, because the negative is like our dirty number, and if a dirty number goes into the shower, it comes out clean. So it comes out clean 0.5. So what we need to do is we need to create two problems here. One, we're going to have x equal negative 0.5. And the other is going to equal x equals positive 0.5. So we have x equals negative 0.5 and x equals 0.5. Because we have the same number, one is negative, one is positive, you could also write this as x equals plus or minus 0.5. Now you can only do this if we have the same numbers, so 0.5 and 0.5, one is negative, one is positive. We cannot do it if these numbers are different. If you just leave it like this, that's fine. If you leave it like this, that's fine as well. Here we have x minus 15. The absolute value of x minus 15 equals 26. Now a number that could go into our shower to get us 26 would be either negative 26 or 26. So we need to create two problems, one equal to negative 26 and one equal to 26. So x minus 15 equals negative 26, and x minus 15 equals positive 26. Now we need to get x by itself, so we need to do the opposite of minus, which is add. We're going to add 15. These negative 15 and 15 are going to cancel out, so we're left with x equals negative 11. On this side, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add 15. And add 15 here. So x is going to equal 26 plus 15, which is 41. So our answers are x equals negative 11 and x equals 41. Here we're going to have two problems again. One is going to be set equal to negative 18, and the other one will be set equal to positive 18. So we'll have 2x minus 4 equals negative 18, and 2x minus 4 equals positive 18. What we need to do first is we need to get rid of the minus. We're always trying to get rid of minus or addition, or subtraction or addition, first before we do anything else. So we need to add 4. What we're left with then is 2x equals negative 18 plus 4, which is negative 14. Then we have to divide by 2 to get x by itself. So x equals -7. Here we have to add 4, just like we did on the other side. What we're left with is 2x equals 18 plus 4, which is 22. Divide by 2 to get x by itself. Now we have x equals 11. So x equals -7 and x equals 11. Here, if we think of this whole problem as our bathroom, we have a shower. We also have somebody in the bathroom that we can't have in there before we take a shower. So we need to get rid of this 5. Now this 5 is touching our absolute value, so when they're touching, that means multiply. The opposite of multiply is divide, so we need to divide by 5. So we get the absolute value of 2x minus 4 equals 6. So now we have an absolute value. Our shower is clean. There's the only thing in the bathroom. So we have to set two problems. 2x minus 4 equals -6. And 2x minus 4 equals +6. Again, we are going to add 4. So what we're left with then is 2x equals -2. Divide by 2 to get x by itself. And x equals -1. We're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to add 4. So 2x equals 10. So we divide by 2 to get x by itself, and x equals 10 divided by 2, which is 5. So x equals -1, as well as x equals 5. There are two answers for all of these problems. Now that we are done with equations, we're going to go over to inequalities. So instead of an equal sign, we're going to have inequality symbols, like this one, less than or equal to 7. So, for inequalities, we're still going to create two problems. The one on our right is going to look exactly like our problem. So x is less than or equal to 7. The other one we need to create, or switch the +7 to a -7. We'll also have an x. When we switch a positive to a negative, we need to flip our sign as well. Now we have x is greater than or equal to -7, and x is less than or equal to 7. So these are our solutions. X is greater than or equal to -7, and x is less than or equal to 7. What we need to do now is graph this on our number line. These are both or equal to signs. They have a line underneath it, so they're both going to be closed circles. First one, we're going to have a closed circle at -7, and our arrow is pointing to the right. The other one, we're going to have a closed circle at 7 with our arrow pointing to the left. So these two will meet in the middle. This means that x can be anything in between -7 and 7. Can't be anything outside, anything in between. Here we have the absolute value of 4x plus 1 is greater than 17. Now we're going to start by creating two problems. The one on the right is going to be 4x plus 1 is greater than positive 17. It's going to look exactly like we have it up here in the problem. The other one, or the other side, is going to be 4x plus 1. We're going to flip our sign and we're going to flip our symbol and we're going to flip our sign. Now we have 4x plus 1 is less than negative 17. So, first of all, to solve this, we need to get rid of the 1. So we're going to subtract 1. We're left with 4x is less than negative 18. To get x by itself, we need to divide by 4. And x is less than negative 4.5. Over here, we need to subtract 1. Those cancel out. 17 minus 1 is 16. We have 4x is greater than 16. Divide by 4 to get x by itself. And x is greater than 16 divided by 4, which is 4. If we graph this, we need to create our number line. Our first one is going to be an open circle at negative 4.5. Our arrow is pointing to the left, so we draw an arrow to the left. Then another open circle at 4 with an arrow pointing to the right. So this one, our arrows are pointing in opposite directions, which means that x can be anything less than negative 4.5 or greater than 4. Couple more. First, on this problem, we need to get rid of the person that's in the bathroom, so we need to get rid of this plus 1. How we're going to do that is we're going to subtract 1. So if we subtract 1, we have to subtract 1 from both sides. We get the absolute value of x minus 10 is less than 4. So we're going to create our two problems. X minus 10 is less than 4. And x minus 10 is greater than negative 4. Remember to flip the sign, or flip the symbol and flip the sign. So when we get x by itself, we need to add 10, because it's the opposite of minus. What we're left with is x is greater than negative 4 plus 10, which is positive 6. Here we have to add 10, just like on the other side. X is going to be less than 4 plus 10, which is 14. Now we have to graph our two answers. They're less than or greater than signs, so we're going to have a open circle, one at 6, pointing to the left, and one at 14, pointing to the right. So x can be anything in between 6 and 14. Our last problem has 3 touching our absolute value, so that's a multiply. So we need to divide by 3 to get rid of it. So what we're left with is the absolute value of x plus 4 is greater than or equal to 18 divided by 3, which is 6. So if we create our two problems, we'll have x plus 4 is greater than 6, exactly as we have it up here. And we'll have x plus 4 is less than or equal to negative 6. We're going to have one of each symbols. Now we're going to subtract 4 to get x by itself. So x is less than or equal to negative 6 minus 4, which is negative 10. Here we're going to subtract 4, just like on the other side. What we're left with is x is greater than or equal to 6 minus 4, which is 2. Last step is to graph. We're going to have closed circles because we have the line underneath them. One is going to be at negative 10. This one is pointing to the left. The other will be at 2, pointing to the right. So x can be anything less than negative 10 or greater than 2. Alright, that completes our review. You have a small quiz waiting for you after this. So all I want to say is good luck. You guys will do great on that, and we'll see you tomorrow.